Hi, Professor. This is Dylan Lozon. I'm doing my CS420 demo for submission 2, and this year my project is to make a minigame gallery. So last year I took CS485 and I tried to make a project that was too large in scope and that was too ambitious, and I wasn't able to get done what I wanted done. So this year I've decided to learn from that, and I've narrowed my focus very clearly, and I have made a game that is much smaller in scope. So I essentially would like to make a set of small games, maybe whack-a-mole and, a shooting gallery and bowling and a claw machine and that kind of thing, and package them into one game. But in the scope of this class, I just want one well-polished minigame with the foundations of more to come, so that way I can work on it after the term is done. Um, so what I've been doing since submission 1 has been collecting assets and scripting and modeling and writing game logic for a shooting gallery minigame. And I've set up a little demo scene here to show what I have. And most of what I've spent my time on is things like collecting assets, like these trees and rocks in the background and this beautiful skybox that I am not able to make, that's come from the Unity asset store. I purchased some assets in a Humble Bundle a long time ago, and I decided to use them for this project, so that's where this beautiful environment has come. But things like these targets and this standing target and these have been made by me. So if I go into my models folder, I installed Blender and I've created these targets myself. Um, and I made them so they could be dynamically modeled. So we've got a target that's been hit by a player, a target that has not been hit by a player and they failed to hit it, and then we've got the default state with just some standard black rings. And then as for the game logic, we've got, um, these guys are two-dimensional. So they'll follow the player and they'll always be looking at the player. So I've set up this capsule to simulate a player that's moving around to show that basically they will always look at the player. So you won't have to deal with the fact that, they're 2D, they have edges. It would look weird if you walk to the side of them. In addition to that, we've got the actual game logic of these targets. So in the future, they'll be controlled more automatically, but right now everything's kind of manual. So if I hit the up arrow, then the targets will activate. You see this guy stands, and these two cubes on the ground represent target shooters. So they launch targets into the air for the player to shoot down. When I press the down arrow, that will simulate the targets being shot. It'll send a signal to all of them that they've been shot, and they turn green, and the ones that are standing go down. I've also got my game manager script, and we see it's got some information here about persistence, but if I hit enter, and I look in the console, if I hit enter, it creates this target minigame manager script. And so that will talk to each of the targets and it will tell them when to activate. So it'll tell these ones to stand and it'll tell these ones to shoot. And it randomly picks one every 1 to 3 seconds and then tells it to activate. And again, when I press the down arrow, it'll simulate them being shot. And that's what I've got right now. When I hit backspace, the game will end and we see shooting gallery scores saved successfully. So I've set up some persistence with the game manager. And if I look in this file, we have a JSON that tells you your high score. So obviously I didn't do much there. I only hit 2 and I missed most of the targets, but it'll save your best score. So that way, the player will know that information. But I have more than just this demo scene as well. If I go into the scenes folder and I open the shooting gallery scene, then we'll see I have this area, which is much, much more complete. So we'll have this guy over here who asks you if you're ready to start and tells you how to play and tells you your high score and things like that. The dialogue system is not yet implemented, but I don't expect it to be very hard, and that'll be one of the next things I'm working on. We've also got 10 targets set up in this field and 1 target launcher marked by this cube. I'll eventually turn off the mesh renderer, but for right now it's helpful for me to know where it is. So if I hit play on this, we'll see a similar thing where I'll hit enter to start the mini game, and every 1 to 3 seconds it will randomly select a target and set it up so that I can shoot them down. And right now I'll press down to simulate shooting all of the targets. They go down. So all of the logic for this is done right now. It goes through the game manager. The game manager has this target mini game manager, and I made it that way. So that way, if I wanted to add more mini games after the class is done, I could just make another mini game manager script and attach it to the game manager. Um, and then there's also a score manager behind the scenes. And so that's all what I have right now. The next things to work on, I need to have VR integration. Obviously, I want to make a player so that this is a playable game. I want to set up dialogue with these guys so that you can interact with them. And I need to make a hub world. Essentially, I don't think there's much I have to do for UI. I'm not interested in having menus that people scroll through. More so, what I'd like to do is have things that are physical in the world that you can interact with. So if you want to go play a mini game, you go talk to one of these guys and they'll take you there. If you want to see your high score, maybe there will be a sign in the environment and you can interact with that rather than having menus like we're more used to in a computer game, in a 2D game. So that's all that I have right now. Thank you for your time, and I will see you later.